Dear learners, this lecture is about Night of the Scorpion, the poem written by Nazim Ezekiel. The topics which are to be discussed are author introduction, poem text, poem summary, poem themes, and by the end, poem analysis. We know that this poem was written by Nazim Ezekiel. He was born on 16th December 1924. He is a Jewish Indian. That means his ancestor might be from European countries. He have received Sahitya Academy Award, Padma Shri, most prestigious award in India. Education. He have completed BA Literature in Wilson College, Mumbai. He also did a degree in philosophy at Birkbeck College, London. Most of his famous work are Night of the Scorpion, Latter Day, Enterprise, A Day of Change, etc. He died on 9 January 2004. Now here goes the poem text. Night of the Scorpion. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. Parting with his poison, flash of diabolic tail in the dark room, he risked the rain again. The peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. With candles and with lanterns throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud-baked walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues with every moment that the scorpion made his poison moved in mother's blood, they said. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. May your sufferings decrease the misfortunes of your next birth, they said. May your sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition, they said, and they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center. The piece of understanding on each face, more candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on the mat. My father, skeptic rationalist, trying every curse and blessings. Powders, mixtures, herb and hybrid. He even poured a little paraffin upon the bitten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rich to tame the poison with an incantation. After 20 hours, it lasts, it stings. My mother only said, "Thank God, the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." Now, let's see the summary of the poem. In stanza 1, the poet says that he remembers well that night. So, it was a reminiscence of the childhood days of Nazim Ezekiel. On the day, it was heavily raining for nearly past 10 hours, and the scorpion, which stung his mother, just crawled beneath the sack of rice. After that, when everyone making a chaos of searching the scorpion, it tried to run away from the house. It planned to go into the rain. The poet was somewhat got angry of the scorpion stinging his mother, but yet he was sympathetic towards the scorpion. In the second stanza, the poet states that after beating the scorpion tried to return back to the rain for escaping to survive of his life. But the author saying that he is angry that he stung his mother, yet he is too sympathetic towards the scorpion because it is going again into the rain. It is going to be in the rain for some more time. So he feels sympathy towards the scorpion as well as angry towards it. Then the peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of the god. So, by hearing this, the peasants came running into the house. They came like a swarming bees into the house. So we will be happy that someone is there to help us. But the poet is too annoyed of these people because they came in chanting the name of God 100 times, and they think that chanting the name of the God would paralyze the evil scorpion. So this kind of myth they had, and they are not doing anything to save his mother. That is the thing that totally annoys the author of the arrival of those peasants. With candle and with lanterns throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud blocks. So when we here they are considering the scorpion as an evil one, but when the flames of the lantern throws, it looks like the people who are gathered here looks in the shape of a scorpion. Than the scorpion, these people look so toxic in that time. They clicked at them and they are planning to catch the scorpion now, because they are having the belief that the more the scorpion moves, the more the pain will that mother suffer. So they are trying to paralyze the scorpion so that they can diminish the pain of the mother. May against the sum of good becomes diminished by your pain, may the poison purify your flesh. Then finally they are coming to a point of cursing her mother. They are saying that the previous birth sins that the mother carry is the reason for the scorpion to punish her. So the more the pain she endures, that pain will purify the sinned or desired soul. So this is the interpretation given by the people who are staying around the mother. Then after that, they are still giving some accusation of the mythology that the scorpion is the source of God, which is trying to take away her sins in this birth so that she can be moving to the next birth without any sins. Later, his father, and the who is so skeptical and rationalist, he is being so great that he tries to apply some herbs or some mixtures of some medicines to the wound where the scorpion stung. So he is using some herbs, he is using some liquid paraffins, he is pouring some paraffins, he is heating the place with the flame so that it won't get more infected. So this kind of action is somewhat reasonable than the peasants who are just doing some rituals and they are chanting some mantras so that they can extract the poison from the mother. These kind of stupid beliefs are keep on done for more than 20 hours till at last when the pain totally worn off. Finally, after pouring some pure paraffins and after some times, the pain of the poison gradually worn out. Later, finally, the mother just said that she was too graceful that the scorpion spared her child by stinging her. So this is the love of the mother expressed through the poem, besides of stupid spirituality and traditional customs of Indianness, which is expressed by Nazim Ezekiel on the 21st century. Then, let's see the poem themes. There are several themes. To pick the major ones, faith and superstitions. The people's faith, each one have a different kind of faith. For example, the father have a faith in practical knowledge, while the others have the faith in spiritual knowledge. And the superstitions belief, which were being followed for several years, for several generations, and passed out to several succession generations in India. These were totally portrayed through the poems. And the Indianness, most commonly, every country has a tradition and their culture, but there is a unique feature of practicing culture and the myth only by the Indian people, and that too clearly pictured in the poem, the motherly love, which we can see in the last stanza. While after enduring so much pain, by the end she just feels somewhat blessed that the scorpion spared her child and took over her. Even she is ready to die for her child. There we can see the motherly love. Then finally, absurd spiritual connectivity. By this, everyone are having a spiritual connectivity towards something or else. Not only God, everyone will have spiritual connectivity towards some persons or something. But whatever it might be, those spiritual connectivity are absurd. It can't be felt. It can somewhat felt by our own imagination. But none other than that, it can't be seen or it can be proven, right? So that is an absurd spiritual connectivity, the theme which can be seen in this poem. Finally, the poem analysis. Nazim Ezekiel always tries to portray the Indianness of Indian people. Here he went a bit too far in poking the superstitious belief. The naive behavior, the foolish behavior of showing the superstitious belief in the situation of death. This is a live or die situation that they can just go out with showing the superstitious belief. This was clearly poked and just sarcastically portrayed by Nazim Ezekiel. He just clearly brought out the situation of the people during the post-colonial durations. So during the time, it was 20th century, the rural Indian people, not only rural Indian people, also the urban people, most of them, they had the practice of depending on more spiritual activities than believing the reality or be practical. From the father's behavior, the pictures the emerging urban rationalism amidst typical Indian beliefs. So, from the 20th century, the science began to dwell upon the education as well as the life of the people. So that can be seen through the father's behavior, because he doesn't care to go to the God, or he doesn't put his faith on God or something else. He just believes in the science and medicine. He wants to save his wife to the core. So he just tries whatever he can to save the wife by the scientific way of method. This shows the emergence of scientific rationalism during post-colonial era. Thank you. That's all about the poem Night of the Scorpion, written by Nazim Ezekiel.